Introducing the Fantasy Sport Doctors with your hosts, Dr. Mitch Brecky,
Swing.
Dr. Nick Curry,
Swing.
and Dr. Nick Healy.
The guy is drunk.
Welcome to the clinic. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
Hey! Welcome.
That wasn't quite as enthusiastic as I would have liked it, Nick.
I would be enthused if I knew it was coming up either.
2 weeks in a row of getting on a knee to salute the ice gods. Are you kidding me?
Gods.
It's so embarrassing when you have so much faith in the guy and he just kicks it straight in the balls.
You mean Quincy Enunwa?
Yeah.
Well, that's what you do when you hop on the Jets bandwagon.
Yeah, the Jets aren't great right now.
Fitzpatrick, he should have just kept the beard. The bearded wonder is no more.
Yeah, there's no wonder in the beard left anymore.
There may be no Fitzpatrick anymore.
Hackenberg.
There may be no manliness in myself after drinking Smirnoff Ice for the second straight week.
Well, let's talk about the real drinks we're drinking today. I got straight out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, from Surly Brewery. Todd the X-Men. Todd.
McShay?
McShay, yes. So Todd the X-Men.
I
Good
love
stuff.
it.
I like it.
I am, Dr. Nick and I are both drinking a local craft beer. It's called the Flip Switch IPA. It's from Tin Whiskers.
Tin Whiskers.
I love it. A St. Paul, Minnesota brewing company. So shout out to Tin Whiskers out there.
All right, guys. So last week I did the Smirnoff Ice, but I kind of sprayed it up a little bit because it was a little cold.
I had to take my computer back to Best Buy so they could clean it all up.
Yeah, I'm sure he had to do that.
So
yeah.
Dr. Healy's got some training wheels this week.
Yeah, I decided to chug it out of the cup because this
Top of the morning.
not the right thing. So let's talk about what we did well last week while this is pouring.
All right. Well, what we did well this last week, I called Devontae Adams. He went 4 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown. It's around 14 points in DraftKings. We also talked a lot about Austin Hooper. He had 3 catches for 46 yards and a touchdown. You're looking at 13 points out of a $2,500 salary. I mean, that's great value.
Yep. My 2 essential plays were Jordy Nelson. Got you 7 receptions, 94 yards, and a touchdown. Not extravagant, but got the job done. My other essential pick was Ezekiel. We got 92 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And Dr. Nick had a few value picks.
God, my value picks have been hitting every single week.
I tell you what, that was a great call on your part. That was a great call.
If you pick this guy, I guarantee you won money in your lineup. He was only 4,000. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Latavius Murray. He had... Thank you. 4,000 he cost you in DraftKings. He went for 114 yards, not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns.
Against that Denver defense.
Yeah, crushed it. Another great call of mine was I had Michael Thomas as my fight or flight. He had 5 receptions for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I'm going to crush you on here in front of everybody because I'm tired of hearing about it.
Now it's time for my beautiful chug. So just give me a quick second here while I get my...
Take the electronics off, please.
While I take the balls up.
Too wide banana.
All right. Well, we'll
I
give him
approach
this.
you from the front and kind of like,
Here it
wow,
goes.
this dude's pretty serious.
It's in the cup today.
Then I walk away like,
it's in the
damn,
cup.
he likes to party.
Easier for drinking purposes.
This guy likes to party with 2 R's.
He likes to party. Look at that. It's getting cold though.
Did we time this?
Definitely getting cold.
We're looking at like
2 minutes here.
6-7 minutes.
Ooh.
7
6 or
seconds?
7 seconds, gentlemen.
Yeah, that was 6 or 7 seconds. 6 or 7 seconds. I'll give you the applause there.
I need to get him a bib next week. Look at him.
yeah. Those little Red Lobster bibs.
Hey, it's better than one of those cones that the dogs have to wear.
Yeah,
well,
lick
that's
yourself.
true. Yeah.
Saving it for later. Hey,
You know, we also are going to throw this out there. We did have a flat line of the week. We called Derek Carr. He only threw for 183 yards and he didn't throw a touchdown. I would call that for the price you pay up for Derek Carr.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
My flat line was tied to that. I had Amari Cooper. He had 6 receptions, only 56 yards. That's getting you 11 points, and you paid way more than that for him. So
I actually won last week. I won both my $25 double ups. I placed in a bunch of different tournaments. I was playing the Sunday Monday games and the Monday Thursday games. We're looking pretty good for the Monday Thursday games. So I had a pretty good week. How about you guys?
You know, I scored a lot of points, but apparently wasn't good enough. So, other than my picks, I didn't do that hot, which is the first time.
First time this year. That's okay, Nick. It happens.
I had a $25 double up. I put out 147, was just out of the money. My $25 double up. Got a couple lineups coming up that are the Monday, Thursday nights that I'm looking real hot. I'm already sitting at $20 in the money. I still got 3 players going tonight. or tomorrow night.
You know, you can't win them all, Nick, right?
Anybody can be beat.
It's a fact. You know, I mean, I thought 8 weeks in a row was a lot, and I was like 9 weeks. That would be really hard to do. I was up hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and you know, you gotta give back a little.
Still up hundreds and hundreds of
Still
dollars.
up hundreds and
Just
hundreds
not
of
quite
dollars.
as much
The
as you
house
were
always
before.
wins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I'm winning against the house so far. It just, you know, so you can't win them all.
can't win them all, right? We're bouncing back this week. That's right. So, moving on, we're going to go to the objective portion. We take the projected point totals for the week. So that's every week we're going to pick the top scoring teams by Vegas odds. This is done by taking the over and under and the spread of all 16 games and identifying the top 6 scoring teams favored by Vegas odds makers. Dr. Healy.
All right, so we're going to take this away. The very first game that we have for you guys, we have the 49ers going against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are favored by 13.5 points and favored to score 30.5 points. How are they going to do that, Dr. Brecky?
All right. I like everything in this game I like a lot of on the Cardinal side of the ball. They're going up against a 49ers defense who is ranked second to last, actually worst in the league in rushing yards allowed, and then rushing yards per attempt at 5.3 yards per carry. It's ridiculous. They're giving up 12 touchdowns in the rush game. They're giving up 18 in the air. So there's a lot of holes in this 49ers defense.
All we hear is about their defense. They can't stop a nosebleed.
And they're going to be stopping a whole lot. There's projected, 30 points this week out of the Cardinals?
30.5.
I like a whole lot of the Cardinals this week. Anything you want to pick on that game I
Cardinals
like.
are favored by 13.5 points in Vegas right now. Pretty ridiculous. I don't know if I've seen a spread that big this year.
Not since probably when New England played the Browns.
Well, yeah, and I think that was right around 10. I don't even think that was up in the 13 range. I love Carson Palmer this week as a cash game play. I think he could be a tournament game play. David Johnson you're going to have to pay for him, but I mean, in standard ESPN leagues, what were we talking? He's projected 29 points in standard ESPN leagues or something ridiculous like that. So I think you pay up for David Johnson this week, especially in cash games. He's going to be super high owned, but you want to be on that train when he scores a couple touchdowns. So and watch out. There's a sneaky wide receiver out there that we'll talk about later in the show from the Cardinals. He's been sneaking up from the fourth wide receiver to maybe the top guy on the team.
It's looking like, yeah.
So.
But if I'm betting this game, I think I would have to take 49ers with the points. 13.5 points is a lot of
points.
That's a lot. Yeah,
it's a divisional game, and 10. When
NFC
they play
West
in that division,
matchups.
Usually lower scoring.
They normally are.
It kind of makes me a little nervous about this game.
I mean, look at
The 49ers
the Seattle-Arizona game. Was it, a 6-6 tie?
Yeah.
But the 49ers love to give the ball back to the other team with that Chip Kelly offense. They're quick.
With that Chip Kelly defense, I think.
Well, the offense.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. Kaepernick gets out there and he's running that kind of no huddle thing, and if they don't, they go 3 and out. You get the ball back right away.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of opportunities to score. So
all right, next game that we have the Seattle Seahawks. They're at the New England Patriots. Patriots are favored in this one by 7.5 points. They're at home and projected to score 28.25 points.
All right, so the Seahawks defense, they look pretty good last week versus the Bills. A lot of different things that went on in that game. They're ranked at near the top in a lot of these defensive categories. They play a lot of man coverage. You got Richard Sherman out there. Cam Chancellor hasn't been playing, but you got their secondary, Legion of Boom, has been always consistent over the last couple years. They're going to be in a lot of cover 3. They're going to do a lot of man. And what that does is you're going to have one high safety. You're going to be man-on-man outside on those receivers. That means they're going to be able to load the box a little bit more, try to stop the run. Okay, now the Patriots don't have a run-it-down-your-throat kind of style. Sometimes they can with LeGarrette Blount. So you're looking at LeGarrette, maybe stay clear of him a little bit this week. You look at the Patriots, they're going to come out in 2 tight end sets, probably, like they always do. But as Pete Carroll being a quality coach, knowing what you want to stop Gronk. Sneaky plays this week, Martellus Bennett maybe.
I like Martellus.
I also like James White a lot.
James
I think
White,
he's going to have to drop it off.
Out of the backfield.
They're going to be able to man up on the outside. So you look at the receivers out there. They don't have any go get them kind of AJ Green kind of guys with the Patriots. They're going to come on the 2 tight end sets, but I think that you're going to see a lot of dinking and dunking. James White, Martellus Bennett versus this defense. It could be a lower scoring game, but the way the Patriots have been playing, especially coming off a bye, they got 2 weeks to prepare for this game. There could be a lot of cool new wrinkles that they put into the offense. I don't think it's a bad play.
But do you think like this spread is 7.5 points? I mean, according to NFL.com, Patriots are rated number 1 in the league. Seahawks are number 4. Do you really think that it's going to be that large of a spread between those 2 types of teams?
It could be a tighter game than most think.
Well, the Seahawks played on Monday night, so it's a little shorter week for them. Mm-hmm. It's another primetime game. They're traveling all the way across the country. Patriots traditionally at home do pretty well. Tom Brady traditionally at home is a much better quarterback. I like you said,
he's
James.
just good wherever you put him.
That's true.
You can put him in Puerto Rico. It's like, I'll do fine.
I mean,
he doesn't do great in Miami. He really doesn't do great in Miami, and he doesn't do that well in Buffalo either. But
that is true.
Well, I'm saying this year he's been a killer.
That's true.
It doesn't matter.
James White will be a good play. I think Gronk is a little bit expensive, to be honest, for a tight end.
What we're going to project for him this week.
I like Martellus Bennett. I think Edelman has a great chance to be a huge possession receiver.
We'll be talking about different players in this game later. All right, next game that we have for you guys, that's going to be the Thursday night game. It's going to be the Cleveland Browns. They're at the Ravens. Can the Cleveland Browns finally get their first win? I doubt it. Let's get real. Ravens are projected to win this one by 10 points and projected to score 27.5 points. Take it away.
All right, so Ravens had a pretty good week last week. You're going against the Browns defense that's in the bottom of the league in most every category. They've given up the second most touchdowns through the air this year, 22 touchdowns. The only other defense that's given up more touchdowns in the league this year actually is the Falcons. Atlanta's given up 24. So you're looking at the passing game with the Ravens. They're going up against this 3-4 base defense. There's not a whole lot to talk. Joe Hayden is a decent cover guy, but there's a lot of holes in the passing game for the Ravens. I like any receiver this week when it comes to even the tight end position when it comes to the Ravens versus this 3-4 base, giving up 22 touchdowns. I've only had 6 interceptions the entire game, this entire season. Not a lot, lower half of the league.
Looking at the running backs here, you have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, Terrence West is averaging like 2.5 yards per carry. Kenneth Dixon has barely got any work. He's the rookie. He's supposed to be the next guy up, the guy who's going to be kind of taking over the position in the next couple of years. I like Mike Wallace in this game, and honestly, I like Dennis Pitta. I mean, Pitta hasn't scored a touchdown yet this year, but against
that's why I don't like him. I don't think you can trust him
against this Browns defense. I think anybody could score a touchdown.
I mean, if he doesn't score a touchdown this week, I don't think he's going to win all year.
I mean, you don't take him if he doesn't score. And just to be clear, I mean, this is the lowest projected over under of the slate that we have. Be watching that Atlanta Philadelphia game. That's projected 50 points over under, and it's currently a pick'em. I would say
there's a lot of players in that. I was talking about this earlier. I really, really like Jordy Matthews.
I do too. And if you're not playing the Thursday night game slates, then instead of looking at the Baltimore Ravens, I would tend to look at Philadelphia or Atlanta for some points there, because there's going to be some points scored in that game.
And you go with your boy again, Austin Hooper. He's a very, again, low owned and inexpensive play that you can put streaming the line behind either DraftKings or Fanduel,
or even throw in Darren Sproles or like you said, a Jordan Matthews. Those guys are going to be. I like those guys. Darren Sproles could easily be one of those low owned running backs that catches the ball. I believe I saw a stat that Atlanta has given up like 70 plus catches to running backs so far this year.
And that's what he does.
Yep.
A good tournament sneaky play to go along with that is Carson Wentz as well. Yep. Like you said before, they've given up 24 touchdowns through the air.
22, 24 is Atlanta.
Atlanta. That's what we're talking about here. And so there's plenty of opportunities that he's going to get, and they're more than likely going to be playing from behind. So you could expect him to maybe throw 2 or 3 touchdowns. Granted, he might might throw a pick or two, but he's going to get the yardage, I think. So, all right, we're going to move on to the next game here. We have the Cowboys. They're at Pittsburgh this week. Pittsburgh's projected to win this one by 2.5. The over-under is 50, and Steelers are projected to score 26.25 points.
All right, so you got the Cowboys defense Steelers going up against. You got Big Ben coming back, second game, didn't do a whole lot. He had some junk points trying to come back in the second half last week. This Dallas defense, Marinelli's defense, it's a bend and don't break kind of defense. Okay, he's gonna let you get yards. He's not gonna give you those huge plays most of the time. They've had some injuries in the secondary in Dallas, but I think Big Ben, this could be a nice bounce back game for him to show him something. He's a good player. What did he say? Just follow me.
Yeah.
This week they were saying, just don't worry about it. Just follow me. He's a veteran guy. I got it. He's a Super Bowl quarterback. He's coming off an injury, second game back.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. But there's a lot of value in this game, and we're going to talk about as we go forward with this. They've only given up 3 rushing touchdowns the entire year, and I know that's great. You got a nice little stat about the rushing attack that's gone against this Cowboys defense. There hasn't been a whole lot of talent in the running back position that's gone against this defense, even though the stats show averaging only 86 yards a game. But they've actually given up 4.2 yards a carry, which is not quite a bit.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
I'm really excited for this game. I think this is a bounce back game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cowboys obviously are on a tear right now, looking like one of the best teams in the NFC. You got a rookie quarterback going up against a veteran who has won a bunch of championships. Big Ben is not worried right now. He's got a ton of targets out there. When you talk about Antonio Brown, Sammy Coates, Eli Rogers, I mean, Sammy Coates got like 0 points last week, but he legitimately dropped a 40-yard touchdown pass, just like hit him in the hands and dropped it.
It's what he does, and it's really disappointing.
He's an absolute crazy fast wide receiver. He's going to get opportunities. He's going to drop a few because he's young. But you know what? When he gets his hands underneath him, this guy, Sammy Coates, he's going to be special.
Kind of like that Deshaun Jackson. Just go deep throw. He's so fast. You just throw the ball under him.
And then you got Eli Rogers, like a possession receiver, and obviously Antonio Brown is sick. So, I like the Steelers a lot this week. I can't hate on the Cowboys either.
I mean, there's not a Cowboy that I wouldn't like in this one, to be fair. Even though Dez did kind of shit the bed on me last week, I was really high on him, but I think he's going to have a comeback game as long as he's healthy. Dez is one of those receivers that when he's injured, he's not nearly the same guy.
It's a bounce back game for Dez.
But, I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, he's just a freaking freak.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's going to be running over people. So there's quite a bit of individuals you can play in this game. Next game that we have is the Miami Dolphins. They're at the San Diego Chargers. The over-under is 40.5. Chargers are the favorite to take this one by 4 points and score 26.25 points. Who do you like in this one, Dr. Brecky?
Chargers, Miami. It's just a strange game. Yeah, Miami. Their defense is middle of the pack across the board. They got Sue down there. He hasn't really done much of anything to put a lot of pressure on that front defensive line. I like any receiver out of the Chargers this week when it comes to them. They've given up 7 touchdowns in the rushing. They've given up 11 touchdowns through the air, about middle of the pack. I don't have a whole lot to say other than, I think Phillip Rivers, I think some receiving. I know we do like Melvin Gordon in this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad player. I know you guys love Melvin Gordon.
I don't know why you're so down on this game. I think that there's going to be a ton of points scored in this one, and Phillip Rivers at home tosses the ball around all over the place because he doesn't have too much of a running game other than Melvin Gordon. They don't have a secondary back there they're used to.
Well, Woodhead's gone. Cluster.
Yep, Woodhead, McCluster, but he's done very well with the limited receivers that he has had, whether it's Tyrell Williams or it's Travis Benjamin or it's Dontrell Inman. He's combined it with Hunter Henry, and he's going to get the ball. He's a grade A talent at quarterback, and he's going to toss the ball around, so there's going to be plenty of fantasy points for everybody.
Dolphins have been on a tear.
Ajayi's have been on a tear. I don't think the Dolphins in itself has been on a tear.
Well, they've been winning some games recently, and I can't say that I like Tannehill. I can't say that I like really any of the receiving options. I mean, Jarvis Landry.
So again, Ajayi and their offensive line has been on a tear.
Really, I mean,
It's mainly their offensive line has been tossing people around.
Yeah.
in San Diego.
They finally all got healthy, and they're like, well, I'm better than you, so sit the fuck down.
San Diego, what is Verrett still playing?
I do not know this week. I have not checked the injury
I'm
report for that.
assuming Verrett's playing, so that means I would probably stay away from Landry. I know you said Ajayi, you're kind of on Ajayi this week. You got to give him some love after hating on him for so many weeks in a row.
I really do.
Melvin Gordon has been one of the most consistent running backs in the league. It's hard to not play him, right?
And one thing I really like that I've noticed, I wasn't really high on him in the beginning of the season because he was averaging 2.9, 3.1 yards per carry. Last couple games, he was 5.2, 4.6. He's really running the ball well and with authority, which we didn't see in the beginning of the year.
Did you watch the end of that game? I mean, he literally iced the game for him. He ran through defenders to win that game at the end.
So I think he's getting more patient and having more confidence in his second year. I mean, last year he didn't score a single touchdown, and as I'm going to mention again later, he leads the league in touchdowns. He's got 11 touchdowns on the year already, and it's only week 10.
This isn't a game that I would have picked. I'm just going to be honest. I wouldn't have looked at this game throughout the entire slate and said, "Oh, I'm picking a ton of players from this game."
Yeah.
But that could be a sign that, you know, the players on these teams are going to be low owned and
tournament plays.
They're good tournament plays.
Great tournament plays. Yep, agreed.
Be looking to this game for some of your tournaments. At least have a couple of them in there because they're going to score points, like Nick said. So,
all right, and we're on the final game of the docket here. This is our only away team that we like this week, and that's the Packers. Packers are projected to win by 2.5 points. Over under 49.5, and they're projected to score 26 points over the Titans. Take it away, Dr. Brecky.
All right, so Titans defense led by Dick LeBeau. Dick LeBeau's a guy that used to be with the Steelers, the Palomalu.
For like 75 years, it feels like.
He's an old guy, yeah. There are a lot of press. They bring a lot of blitzes from different angles. I look at this as an opportunity for Aaron Rodgers. You have someone who's going to be coming in hard when it comes to blitzes. Defense, you have a veteran Hall of Fame quarterback, could take advantage and dice you in a lot of those situations. They're going to be a lot of press. They're going to be man looks. So a lot of route concepts that the Packers run are long route concepts. So as a quarterback, when you get blitzes, you look to hot routes. You look to quick
hot routes.
You look to
hot route.
Yes. Red 7. Red 7. Go to the other side.
Go to the other side.
Go to the other side. I'm signaling.
I don't know what that means. So, you know, this could be something where there's a lot of slot receiver catching from Randall Cobb. It could be out of the backfield from a now running back who used to be a receiver in Ty Montgomery.
He still has the receiver skills.
He still has receiver skills.
Still got the receiver number.
But this comes down to Aaron Rodgers' play. You see that pressure coming from different angles, and then if you take advantage of that, you gash teams, and they become huge plays. So I like something more in the slot areas, not the outside. I think Jordy, they say, could do pretty well. And that doesn't mean you can't hit a home run ball on a blitz, but if you take advantage of those blitzes, those things coming, those holes open right outside of the offensive line or defensive line linebacker, and they vacate, it's a throw and then catch real quick and run with the ball.
And that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit later. Dr. Curry, what do you think about the hamstring injury that Randall Cobb's dealing with?
Well, they had him on a snap count last week. He didn't play in the first half at all, and then he came in. I think he caught 2 catches all night. One was for a touchdown. So he said he felt good after the game. I think they're going to probably ease him back in. I think if they were on a snap count last week, he might get a little bit more work, but I'm looking at maybe 50 to 75% of the snaps instead of his usual 75 to 90%. Yeah. So, in this game, as a Packer fan, the Packers are frustrating this year.
Please lose again.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably gonna. To be honest, I mean, I know Aaron Rodgers is frustrated. You can obviously see in his press conferences, he's calling out people now. And I
think that was more towards your coach,
Mike McCarthy. I've been saying for years, get rid of McCarthy. But they can't because it's a big it's a big deal. They don't just have one owner that could be like, hey, you're gone. They got to go through a board and directors. They got to vote, that kind of thing.
Get out of here with that cat.
Anyways,
I
think Aaron Rodgers is a solid play this week. I like Ty Montgomery. We just saw Sleeper Bot came through, and Mike McCarthy said that even though Ty Montgomery's wearing the 88, which is a wide receiver number, he is a 3-down back.
Huge. That is huge.
225 pounds, and he can handle the workload.
He's out of Stanford, right?
Yeah, that essentially means that,
Smart kid.
that they have confidence in him running the ball. And if you look, he only had like 7 carries, but a lot of those carries were going for 8 to 10 yards.
I think he had 7 carries for close to 54 yards or something like that.
So he's actually eating up some rushing yards there when he gets the ball, and obviously he catches the ball well out of the backfield. Unfortunately, in Fanduel, he's only classified as a running back. In DraftKings, I believe he's only a wide receiver, so pick your poison there.
But the difference with that is in DraftKings, you can have him as a flex, so it doesn't really matter at all.
Right.
So that's fine.
Yep.
I love Jordy Nelson in this game. You're talking about press man coverage. I think this is a game where Aaron Rodgers gets that back shoulder throw or the deep ball on the hot route to Jordy Nelson.
Yep, that could be a good play.
I have some stats I'm going to say later, but I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be running for his life a little bit. I like this defensive line coming for him with a dick level defense, so that's why I really like Ty Montgomery. But on the other side of the ball, we were talking about both these people, DeMarco Murray and Rashad Matthews. You had a stat earlier that Rashad Matthews had 5 touchdowns the last 5 games.
5 touchdowns last 5 games. Top 5 in the league for touchdowns in the last 5 games in the wide receiver category. So be aware of Rashard Matthews. I mean, this game again, it's a 49.5 over under, and it's at like 2.5 to the Packers as an away team. This could easily be Tennessee Titans scoring some points on a beat up secondary again. I mean, I expect there to be a lot of points scored in this game.
Yep. And DeMarco Murray does it through the air as well as on the ground, so that's another must play if you have him.
Derrick Henry's beat up, so you don't have him stealing carries.
Exactly. Finally, thank you. All right, so now moving on. If you guys haven't downloaded it, you guys need to download this now. It's called PubPicks. PubPicks is a great app that you can use with your friends, and basically you just bet on games. They give you a slot of 10 games depending on where you live, and you put them in by Thursday night. They come through Monday morning. At Monday morning, they say, hey, you won, and you either win $25 gift cards, $15 gift cards, free beer, free bowling, multiple different other options depending on where you live. But it's called PubPicks. It's completely free to download either on your Droid or on your iPhone. Completely free. It's a great thing to do, and you join with your friends.
Who doesn't love free beer and free money?
I do.
Oh, you do.
And
I don't know who doesn't.
And if you haven't noticed, I might not always be great at it, but I also like betting and I like to win. So there's plenty of chances for that as well.
No win, no beer.
That's right. So this week, our lineup that we picked through DraftKings, we're actually playing a $4 buy-in on the Thursday night games. It's going to be the $320,000 kickoff special. So remember, when we're picking some of these players, it's geared towards tournaments. Cash games, we're going with a bunch of $25 double ups. This week's a little bit different. They got some mid-season differences in there. I believe they got some celebration games in there, some $25 single entry double ups, which are kind of
payouts,
cool. Yeah, bigger payouts.
Love the single entry double ups.
Single entry double ups are a great option for you guys because essentially you're playing against a bunch of other people who can only enter one lineup, and it increases your chances and your odds of winning. So
quite a bit.
Love it. So we're going to start it off with the fight or flight players.
All right. My fight or flight player, we said we are going to talk about him later. That's J.J. Nelson. He's not costing you much in either FanDuel or DraftKings, and he's going against a San Francisco defense that surrendered 18 passing touchdowns this season. That's, I believe, about 4th or 5th in the league. Last game, he had 8 receptions for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Carson Palmer is going to be looking for him. You have Larry Fitzgerald, who's dealing with an ankle injury, and you have a couple other receivers that just have not performed performed. J.J. Nelson is my fight or flight.
I tell you what, that was a great call on your part. That was a great call.
So J.J. Nelson was that player that we talked about earlier that has kind of snuck his way up in the ranks. Bruce Arians just came out and said he's the number 2 receiver on the depth chart, and with Larry Fitzgerald a little banged up, he could easily be the number 1 target for Carson Palmer this weekend against a beat up San Francisco team.
He's only costing you $4,200 in DraftKings, and in Fanduel he's costing you $56. So he's close to a value play, but he's definitely a play that
we
you
love
need to play in
J.J.
your
Nelson.
lineup.
Yep. My fight or flight in your tournament games this week is going to be Sammy Coates. We talked a little bit about him earlier. Big Ben's coming back, second game back from the injury. I think he was a little rusty game 1 back. Sammy Coates dropped a 40-yard touchdown. Didn't really do much, but he's going to get back into the mix. He was a great undervalued player earlier in the year. He's coming in at $4,000 only on DraftKings, $5,400 on FanDuel. I think he could have a huge game versus secondary that's been beat up in Dallas. You got Barry Church, their strong safety. It didn't participate in practice on Wednesday. Morris Claiborne is still hurt with a groin injury. Didn't participate in practice on Wednesday. It's a secondary that's a little beat up. And you got Big Ben, second game back from an injury, feeling better. This could be a big win, big game for Sammy Coates.
I like it.
Swing. Yeah, I love Sammy Coates this week. I think he has the ability to go deep every single week. And if you look back traditionally, Ben Roethlisberger likes to throw the deep ball. I mean,
he throws one of the best deep balls in the league.
Mike Wallace, Emmanuel Sanders,
Antonio
Brown. I mean, Sammy Coates is the next guy to come in, and he's the next guy to be that deep ball threat.
They need to put some damn stickum on his gloves. I mean, those gloves are pretty sticky already.
Something.
Or toss, or do like they do in Mighty Ducks, toss them the eggs. Soft hands.
Yeah,
soft
hands, man.
Come on.
Hands.
So my
Silky
fight or
mittens.
flight this week, soft hands, silky mittens, top tittens for the boys. So the fight or flight for me this week, I'm kind of deviating from the teams that we talked about. It's still in one of the highest scoring games, but I'm going to pick Rashard Matthews. We already talked about this. 5 touchdowns, last 5 games, top 5 in the league in touchdowns in the past couple of games. Mariota's been looking really hot. He's going to Rashard Matthews, and to be honest, I've been waiting for this all season from Rashard Matthews. He looked good last year in Miami with Tannehill at quarterback. He was terrible the first couple of games, and everybody was talking about Tajay Sharp. I'm like, where's Ryan Matthews, the guy who's supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver there? He's finally showing up. He's finally playing against a beat up Packers secondary. I think this could be a huge game for Rashard Matthews.
I think Marcus Mariota is a young quarterback, so I think it took him some time to get that relationship built with Matthews as well, and I think they finally developed it.
Yep.
So I think that's a great call, Rashard Matthews.
Love it.
Fantasy Flatline.
All right, time for our fantasy flatline. That is our bust of the week. And I know Dr. Curry does not agree with me on this one, but I'm going to go with the Le'Veon Bell. He's playing a Dallas defense that ranks 3rd in the rush and has given up only 86.9 yards a game on the ground, along with only 3 rushing touchdowns in 8 games. So that's not a guy that I really have too much faith in. I think he's going to get you points, but he's going to cost you some money. He's going to cost you $8,100 in FanDuel and $7,700 in DraftKings. If he does get points, it's going to be through the air, which he's more than capable of doing, but simply on the ground, he's not going to make it happen.
Well, the reason why I'm not as high on this pick as a flatline is because if you look back at who the Cowboys have played, essentially the best running back they've played this year is Cheeseburger Eddie.
I mean, I thought you were saying Cheeseburger Eddie was going to be a top 5 running back in the season.
Well,
he was rolling and tumbling right through the McDonald's drive-thru.
He rumbles and bumbles his way down the field, so usually that is pretty good. But
now he's on the sidelines in IR.
Well, his ankles couldn't handle the weight.
Oh, well, there's that.
Yeah, so
big boy.
Again, Le'Veon Bell is an elite running back, and the Cowboys have yet to face an elite running back. I would say there's only a few guys in the league that are must-start running backs in any given scenario, regardless of the matchup. Number 1, David Johnson. We already saw that this year. Number 2, I got to go Melvin Gordon right now because he gets so many carries. Doesn't matter who he's playing, play Melvin Gordon. And number 3 would be Le'Veon Bell because he catches the ball so well out of the backfield, and he is that check down pass when he's sending those, when Big Ben's sending Antonio Brown and Sammy Coates down the field. He's got to throw the ball to somebody coming out of the backfield.
No, and I don't disagree with you on that aspect. And like I said, his through the air numbers, he's going to be fine.
Is he out gonna 2.5, 3 times, 4 times his salary? Probably not.
I do not think he's going to score 25 points this week. Will he probably get you 18? And you're going to be happy about that if he's in your regular line. It's like, okay, he did a good job. But if you're spending that much money on him and DraftKings or Fanduel, you expect him to get you 25, 30 points to be a top 1 or 2 running back. And I don't think that's going to happen this week.
I agree. A very good explanation.
All right, so my fantasy flatline for your tournament games, straying a little bit away from our formula, still top scoring game, one of them. I'm going with Matt Ryan. Coming in at 7,300. I know you guys are you're not quite bought on this.
Best quarterback in the league.
I'm going to explain.
I cannot agree with you on this one.
I'm going to explain why I think he is going to get less than 20 points this week.
You willing to bet on that?
I would bet on that.
I
will bet on that.
No, I want to see you two. There's not been a bet without me in it. You two, dude. There's not been a bet without me in it this time.
If it's 20.00, I win. It's at 20 or lower, I win the bet.
Look he's backing off. He is getting that
20 points or lower.
His tail's going between his legs.
Okay, so let me say something. So he's a hot quarterback. He's been scoring 25, 23 in the last 3 weeks. There's been a 30-pointer in there down their line. He's playing up against a Philadelphia defense who's been pretty solid. Now, they've been giving up a fair amount of yards, but they are top 5 in sacks in the league. 23 sacks this year.
Big game for Devontae.
They're going to put pressure on him. I think they're going to get to him. He's not going to have a lot of time up front. He's going to be forced to maybe make some poor decisions. I think he's going to score less than 20 points at 7,300 in DraftKings. I don't think he's going to be willing to. I'm not going to be willing to pay up for him.
What are we betting here? We betting like a chug of ice on camera here?
Well, I guess that's the norm.
I mean, or you guys can do a Natty Ice full boat.
Well, we could do a Natty Ice. We could do a Saturdays are for the boys. For the boys.
Well, I'm putting the bet out there. You can say what the wager is.
So you're saying if Matt Ryan gets...
It's a simple bet. If he scores 20 points, he wins. If he doesn't, you win. Oh, wait, opposite. If he scores 20 points...
I win.
Yeah.
20.1, you win.
Yeah.
20.0,
so
I win.
20.0.
20 points and below, I win the bet.
I'll take that bet.
That's a fair bet.
Yeah, I'll take that bet.
That's a hell of a fair bet. He's only not scored 20 points
once,
this year,
twice,
3 times.
There you go.
Which surprisingly, he only had 19 points. This is according to ESPN. He had 19 points against New Orleans, 14 points against Denver, and 12 points against San Diego.
It is in Philadelphia. I'll take that bet.
It is in Philly.
So you got some things going for you. Philadelphia has given up 12 touchdowns. You got Julio Jones, who you're throwing to. You guys got the check down opportunity. Devontae Adams. I'll take that. I think Matty Ice is going to be decent this week. I just don't think.
I think that's a good bet. 20 points is a fair bet on either side there. Yeah. I think that's.
I can't wait to see one of you other bastards fucking chug one.
The thing is, it's
this guy over here.
He wanted nothing to do with an ice bet.
I am so more bitter than anything.
The guy is drunk.
I'm just more bitter than anything. That's all. That is all.
Oh, well, top of the morning to you.
All right, who's your flatline, Dr. Curry?
Well, my flatline this week is going to be Allen Robinson. And I think there's a lot of angry fantasy owners out there. Angry at Todd
McShay?
And in some of those big, maybe the big fantasy guys out there who are saying, take Allen Robinson in the first and second round. He's going to be great.
Well, he had 15 touchdowns last year. I was one of those guys that was saying, let's take him. I thought he was going to do very well.
Matt Berry was all over Allen Robinson. And
you can't win them all.
You know what? He's playing the number 1 pass defense. They've only allowed 6 touchdowns against opposing wide receivers. I believe they're playing Houston, right? Houston.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. Is Houston just coming off a bye?
No, I don't think so.
We'll have to check that.
Well, maybe you should get your stats right, and then we'll talk.
Well, they're definitely playing the number one pass defense, and they've definitely only given up 6 touchdowns. So either way, Allen Robinson is no-go this week for me. If you're
he just came off a hot week, and he's only had one other hot week this year. So who knows what he's going to do? If he does, maybe they found it in the second half of the year to turn it around. Hopefully, Allen Robinson for my fantasy teams, I would love for him to go off.
Yeah.
But hey, it's not a bad call. I don't really.
What do you got for your essentials? What do you got for your essentials?
I don't really like it. All right, my essential we talked about him earlier is Melvin Gordon. $8,300 he's going to cost you, but he's been the most consistent back in the league, and he's going against a Miami rushing defense that ranks 29th in the league, giving up 136.1 yards per game and 7 rushing touchdowns. He's scored in every single game except for 2 this year, and guess what? Those 2 were both against Denver. So, and he's not playing Denver, so guess what? He's probably going to score. He leads the league in touchdowns. He has got 2 receiving touchdowns and 9 rushing touchdowns for 11 touchdowns over the year. One other stat about this guy, he's the second in the league from yard from scrimmage at 116.9 yards per game. That beats Ezekiel Elliott. It's pretty sweet.
Nice.
I love it.
My essential play for your tournament games this week is Carson Palmer. $6,500 on DraftKings, $7,900 on Fanduel. They're going up against a rush defense. Okay, the rush defense in the 49ers was almost worse than the league. What that does, being able to run the ball, control the clock, opens up for play action pass and really good long passes. There's going to be plenty of yards in this game. They're projected the highest amount of points out of any team in the league this week at 30.5. There's going to be points scored on the passing game, rushing game. I like Carson Palmer this week, and we talked about pairing with J.J. Nelson. He's a very valuable guy, good tournament play. You could set yourself apart in a lot of lineups doing that.
Exactly.
I believe they are coming off a bye.
The Cardinals are coming off a bye. That's a good thing.
They are.
Cardinals coming off a bye.
At home.
I like David Johnson because they're probably going to have some time in the end of the game.
I love David Johnson getting a screen pass from Carson Palmer. That's huge. Right,
I love that
there. They love that.
So I love Carson Palmer this week. Regardless.
And like you said, that pairing Carson Palmer with J.J. Nelson, if you have him in DraftKings, the combination of both those guys is going to be $11,000. What? That's going to cost you nothing. You can do so many other things with your lineups.
Not even a contrarian pick, but like something that not a lot of people will do. J.J. Nelson, David Johnson, and Carson Palmer. All on the same lineup. Now, people are like, what takes away from your running back and your quarterback? There's going to be so many points scored in this game. I think you're going to be fine.
They're projected to score 30.5 points.
You get a screen pass for a touchdown. That already sets you a point right there. I like that. So, what do you went David Johnson with your essential?
Well, no, I didn't. I will tell you my essential in just a second. I've been looking at the Houston Texans team.
Oh, now he's back. We cut him down.
I gotta show you guys why I'm picking Allen Robinson as a flat line. So last week was a bye week. It was a bye week for the Texans.
All right.
And did you guys know that the week before, leading up to their bye, they beat the Motor City Kitties?
Meow. Yeah, okay, thanks.
So they beat the Lions, and they're doing better than I thought this year. They got a 5-win team with wins against the Chiefs, the Titans, the Colts, the Lions, and the Bears. So the Bears I left out there. They're not.
The Bears are better than what we thought.
But the other teams all have pretty good defenses there. So and not near. I would say the Jaguars are not near the caliber team that some of the other teams they've played. So
I'm really hoping for the Jags to turn around. I mean, they're just
I didn't expect that.
Other than not, your old coach is gone, buddy.
I know. I want him to do well. Coach Bradley's Gus is a great coach.
Good old Gus.
He is.
So anyways, looking forward, my essential play is Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
So I'm picking Aaron Rodgers. He's averaging 45 attempts.
Gotta throw some cheese in the lineup.
I don't think he's had a single essential play this year without a Packer.
Well, that's not true.
He goes, wait, that's not true. Look at me now.
I swear I can find one back here that
maybe
isn't.
Maybe back in week 1. Oh my God, I don't even know.
Austin Hooper. Averaging the past 3 games, Aaron Rodgers is averaging 45 attempts, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns. He is an essential tournament play. He's going to be low owned because people are going, oh, Titans, they're a good defense.
And one Olivia Munn, which is the best catcher of all of them.
He is dating Olivia Munn. But he also is going to be throwing the ball a lot. And that's because they have no running back. They're starting a wide receiver at running back. So
there you go.
That's why I'm picking Aaron Rodgers. Moving on to our cash games. Again, we talked about $25 double ups. There are a couple of mid-season celebrations going on. Single entry double ups. Get in the single entry double ups. They will give you more possibilities to win. Dr. Healy, take us away with the fight or flight players.
All right, my fight or flight player, I am actually going to pair it up with Dr. Curry's essential from the last section, and that is Ty Montgomery, their running back / wide receiver that they're playing running back. The reason being is Tennessee has a great rush defense. They have 23 sacks on the year, so that means Aaron Rodgers, your boy over there, Dr. Curry, is going to be running for his life, and he's going to be dumping it off to Ty Montgomery. Also, what do you mean? He's going to be running for his life. He's getting points.
He's going to be running for first downs because he's been the leading rusher the past 2 weeks for the Packers.
Yeah, Ty Montgomery. Nice. Anyways.
Aaron Rodgers.
So we got Ty Montgomery, and the thing about this,
Children over here.
Tennessee has given up at least 4 receptions.
You think you can stop me, period.
Someone take this thing away from him. Take this thing away
Seriously,
from him.
this kid's like a child.
That's what I said.
You get the Packers in his
Can't
head.
let you have nice things.
Yeah, like this kid being a Packer fan, you talk about a Packers like he's on crack. He's like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Oh my god. Anyways,
Spring break in the ghetto.
yes, Green Bay is
love
the
that
ghetto. All right. So going with what I was saying before, Tennessee has given up at least 4 receptions to every single receiver they've played the last 4 weeks, and that's what Ty Montgomery does. He catches passes, but he also runs. So, and Mike McCarthy said he's going to be their 3 down back. So, take it away. Ty Montgomery is my fight or flight of the week.
I love it.
All right. My fight or flight for the week in your cash games is Dennis Pitta, baby. Dennis Pitta hasn't got a touchdown all year. It's going to happen this week versus old Browntown. Browntown's terrible. They have given up 22 touchdowns through the air this year. Only 6 interceptions in the first 10 games, 275 yards passing. You know, you're looking at Flacco. Actually, been playing pretty damn good. Flacco. Tall, Delaware. Pitta's getting a touchdown this week.
Pitta's not going to get a touchdown.
Self-proclaimed best quarterback in the league.
This is a bet that I will take.
I'll take 2 bets this week. Boom! 2 bets.
Straight cash, homie.
I'm going to be sitting here while you guys are chugging.
Bullshit.
Dennis Pitta gets a touchdown this week.
I want to do a touchdown with yardage as well.
Oh, come on.
50-plus yards and a touchdown.
You like that?
I'm already got on a bet. That's a fair bet.
Guess what? Not my problem.
Okay.
This is
50
our
yards and a touchdown. Come on, Nick.
That's not that bad.
I thought you just said he wasn't going to get a touchdown.
No, I don't want. He's not gonna get that.
Okay, we'll find a bet.
Okay, well, if he's not going to get a touchdown, then bet him.
We'll
50 yards and a touchdown.
We'll find a bet
if he's
later.
not going to get a touchdown,
You don't think
bet him.
if he's a fight and flight, you better think that he's gonna get you more than 12 points.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
Well, now we're talking points.
No, but I'm saying 50 yards and a touchdown is basically 12 points.
Okay, you want 12 points? You want 12 points?
Yeah, we can do 12 points.
That he's going to get more than 12 points.
Yeah.
So you got less than 12.
6 catches for 60 yards.
That's true. I think the touchdown's less likely.
It's either a touchdown or 12
What do you want?
First of all, you're not in this bet.
No,
Dr.
that's
Curry.
a fair-
I'm mediating.
No, get out of here.
Thanks for mediating,
Yeah,
Dr. Curry.
Yeah.
I asked the hard-hitting questions.
Thanks, Kenneth.
Yeah, could have used you.
Bone zone.
Could have used you during the debates over there. But anyways,
I'll give you
50 yards and a touchdown. I think
I'll
that's
give
fair.
you either the points or a touchdown. What do you want? I'm giving you choices here.
Oh, he's got plenty of yards. He gets almost 60.
That's my question.
Jeez Louise.
The question.
I'm gonna go a
You're
touchdown.
done over there.
Yeah,
You're done over there.
You're
Stop
cut
it.
off. Jeez, this guy's drunk over here, kid. All right, I will take the touchdown because guess what? He hasn't scored a touchdown all year.
Okay, just a touchdown. He gets a touchdown. I win. He doesn't. You win.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Touchdown. That's a great call.
Oh,
I
yeah.
tell you what, that was a great call on your part. That was a great call.
That was the most exciting thing.
I can't wait till I can just sit back and videotape both of you chugging something next week.
Or you're just gonna have to do double.
Yeah. There's that.
That'll be it.
Alrighty. You heard it here first.
Just to be fair, Dennis Pitta is probably a riskier cash game play, but that's why he's a fight or flight player.
He's going against Cleveland, though.
My fight or flight
Cleveland
player.
rocks.
And let's talk about he's only $4,000 on DraftKings and $4,900 on FanDuel.
And last week he gave up Jason Witten went off. So
yeah, it's true.
You know, so there's a chance.
They've given up like 780 yards.
Know what I would love? I would love for him to have like 15 catches for like 160 yards,
and
but
no touchdowns.
Zero
there you go. Then I should have taken the points, but I gave you the choice.
Is it?
I love that.
That would be interesting. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think so.
What do you got?
My fight or flight player is I'm sticking with the cheese, obviously.
Child,
I'm going to
please.
fall asleep over here.
You guys want me to child, please, over here?
Child, please.
All right, Devontae Adams. Come on, you guys.
Could we just predict his every single time? Hey, guess what? It's Green Bay Packer.
If I could do multiple essential players, I would have put Devontae Adams in next to my essential player. But maybe you guys don't look at stats or anything, but he's the number 2 player in targets in the past 3 weeks. He's had 38 targets. The only person higher, Mike Evans. So tell me you don't like Devontae Adams this week.
I do. I like him a lot. I'm going to play him in a lot of lineups. But I just you're just cheese blinded.
Devontae Adams, drop the mic. Moving on.
Here we go.
Fantasy Flatliner.
All right, my fantasy flatline is Spencer Ware this week. He's going to cost you only $6,700. Yes, he has cleared concussion protocol, but he's going up against Carolina. No, they do not have a good passing defense, but they're ranking 3rd in rushing defense, only giving up 76.1 yards per game. That's only 3.3 yards a carry. And only 5 rushing touchdowns all season. I think he's going to be completely shut down. And that's going to be basically the only play they need to stop because Alex Smith is coming off of injury as well. And the receiving corps has just been awful. Macklin has looked awful all season. He hasn't done anything. Their best receiver who's looked like anything has been Tyreek Hill the last few weeks. And who the hell is Tyreek Hill?
You tell me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
You tell me.
Exactly.
The guy is drunk.
All right. My fantasy flatline for this week, cash games, your boy Gronk. Saturday for the boys, Gronk. He's coming at 6,900 in DraftKings. FanDuel, $8,000. Gronk is going to play up against the Seahawks defense. Tough defense. Like I said before, they play a cover 3, a lot of man covers. That means they can stack. They can put an extra guy in the box. So that means you're going to have more guys in the middle. They come down with their strong safeties. Their secondary is a physical bunch. And Pete Carroll, smart coach, you're going to take away your best weapon. I don't think that he's going to live up to what you have to pay for him this week. Go with Martellus Bennett instead.
I like that call a lot. I really like Martellus Bennett this week. Yep, like you said, Pete Carroll's going to shut him down.
6,900. You need 15 plus points out of him to make it worth your while. Even maybe even more with Gronk. I just don't think he's.
I like other options.
I like other options. There you go.
That's why I like
Bennett,
him.
White, Edelman.
I like other options.
Agreed.
My flat line this week is Drew Brees. Just playing the number 1 defense for passing in the Broncos. He's not a great quarterback when he's away.
The Broncos
he's at home, though.
They've dropped 2 straight.
He's at home, so he can average.
I think the Broncos would come back and start smashing this week.
No, I don't not agree with that.
At least their defense.
So you're playing Drew Brees this week?
Not in any of my lineups.
Oh, okay, all right.
But if he's
in my head,
yeah. But I like him still. He's playing. Yes, we're playing number one passing defense. He's at home, but at home he averages 330 yards passing and almost 3 touchdowns.
But they haven't played the Broncos yet. So
that is true.
Number 1 passing defense. I'm going to side with Von Miller and say that Drew Brees doesn't have a great game on Sunday.
I mean, even look at last week. You can run the ball on him. Can't pass on him.
Yeah, that's true. He did only have like 183 yards,
you can
0
run
touchdowns. That's true.
A sneaky tournament play, I guess, this week would be Ingram
or Hightower.
The hard part is they got basically the same amount of carries.
Actually, Hightower had like 6 more carries than
It's just who gets the goal line carries.
But
That's what it is.
But with Ingram had like 15 carries, but had like almost 150 yards rushing, whereas
Ingram had a lot more.
Whereas
yards.
Hightower had 23 carries and
Sean Payton,
but they both scored touchdowns. So
Sean Payton said he really likes Hightower. So that one's a tough one, but it is a sneaky tournament game play. I mean.
Yep.
All right, so now we're moving on to our essentials. I got to give this guy love. My essential is Jay Ajayi. I was really harsh on him when he first came out, and I was like, do not touch him. And then he just kicked me in the face and was like, hey, guess what? Here's another 200-yard game.
2 weeks in a row.
Dr. Healy had to touch him.
Yep. Here's the last 3 games he's played. 24 attempts for 111 yards and a touchdown. 28 attempts for 214 yards and a touchdown. 25 attempts for 204 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that's not going up against a San Diego defense who has given up the most rushing touchdowns in the league, and that is 13 touchdowns. They also give up, on average, in DraftKings, 26.1 fantasy points per game to running backs. So Jay Ajayi, I think, is going to have a field day.
I think he's the only player on the team who actually is fantasy relevant for the
Agreed.
Dolphins.
And that's all credit. I don't think Jay Ajayi necessarily is that talented of a back. I really think that offensive line is top five in the league for sure, if not better than that.
Well, you need holes to run through.
Yep.
That's the truth. So, my pick or essential for the week in your cash game plays is I got to go to the Packers. It's Jordy Nelson.
Boom.
Jeez, who don't you play in the Packers?
Oh, come on. Jordy Nelson.
Doesn't it just kind of hurt a little bit? Like when I said Ty Montgomery earlier, I was like,
but like I had said earlier,
it kind of takes a little bit of your soul away.
I said earlier, though, there's not much of a running game in Green Bay. We know that. A lot of passing. You're looking at Rodgers probably been 50-plus attempts in the last 2 or 3 games. It's a lot of passing. Jordy Nelson's playing against the Titans defense in Dick LeBeau. They're bringing a lot of pressure. Like I said, you have a quarterback. It's a Hall of Famer. Great quarterback. If you take advantage of those blitzes, they turn into large plays. And I think if you can get the ball to Jordy, it can be a big day for you, especially for the value here. 7,500, 75 in DraftKings, 7,700 in Fanduel. You're looking at 15-plus point, close to 20 points this week. I think is very feasible for Jordy in a very high-scoring game. I like Jordy.
I love Jordy this week, so awesome. Way to go, Mitch. Applause.
Someone else please be in control of that.
My essential play this week is probably one of the highest priced players on the slate. It's David Johnson, playing the absolute worst rushing defense, giving up 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns to running backs.
4.6 yards a carry.
4.6 yards a carry. I like David Johnson a lot this week. Not only is he going to rush like crazy, but he's going to catch the ball well out of the backfield.
Yep.
And I honestly, I mean, coming off a bye week, I think the Cardinals are going to get things back together, and they're just going to crush this week.
I know how much we talked about how much we like J.J. Nelson, but I could really see David Johnson being their leading receiver as well as rusher.
I mean,
doing screen passes and just dipping.
They do a lot of dump passes, a lot of screen passes.
I could see him have like 2 or 3 screen passes that go for over 30 yards.
Yep.
I love him, and he's the most expensive player that you have in FanDuel, and I think he's worth every penny, to be fair.
They definitely get a better cash play, obviously, like we're saying.
Yes.
You're not going to set yourself apart in a tournament because he's going to be 30 to 40% owned.
Agreed.
He may be 60 to 70% owned in cash games.
You think? Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But if you're not on him and he blows up for 40 points,
then you're not going to win anything.
Yeah, you're out of the money. So I think he's somebody you almost have to play in cash games. So
yeah, okay.
Well, that brings us to our prescription to win this week. So during the prescription to win, we're going to pick a DraftKings and a FanDuel lineup. You can plug these lineups directly into FanDuel and DraftKings. Guess what? They win money. I would say we're winning money on these lineups about 75% of the time. So they're not foolproof, but they are winning money more often than not. And listen up because these are great options.
Great options, and you can always use these as just a guideline too. And if you want to pick and choose who you want to play, that's just fine because you can plug some great guys around to win more money as well. So
remember, we're just picking players that fit actual lineups with the salary cap, so you can move players in and out of here if you need to.
Exactly. So what we're doing, we're playing the $320,000 kickoff special, and this is going to be a Thursday through. Is this Thursday?
This is Thursday night tournament.
Thursday tournament.
All the games of the slate.
All right, and we're going to start it off as we talked about before. We're going to start with Carson Palmer as our quarterback. He's going to cost you $6,500, and then one of my essential plays that I like a ton is Melvin Gordon. He's going to cost you $7,100. And then when we're winning a little inexpensive, they're going against a Cleveland defense who's just god-awful against the run, as Dr. Brecky alluded to earlier, Terrence West for $5,700.
We're banking on Terrence West actually getting in the end zone here because he hasn't been a huge yards per carry guy.
Not the last couple of weeks, but his first 2 weeks when he had all the carries, he was getting over 100 yards. So against the Cleveland defense, I think that's he's a talent that could do that.
Just to be clear, this is the DraftKings lineup.
Yes.
Yep. Our wide receiver stable here. We're pairing our Carson Palmer pick with the J.J. Nelson. Saved a lot of money here.
Love it.
Number 2 guy coming up in the ranks. Arian likes him. $4,200 on DraftKings with J.J. Nelson.
So when you pair that up, that's going to only cost you $10,700.
Love it. That's a cheap pair.
One touchdown pass, you're sitting pretty there. Devontae Adams is our second receiver we like, going up against the Tennessee Titans. Dick LeBeau taking advantage of those guys coming hot with the blitzes. Rodgers hitting in for touchdowns. We like a $6,300. We got Devontae Adams, and then we're going with the staple guy, Antonio Brown.
Huge week.
We have, I think he's gonna have a big week. Big Ben is second week back off the injury. You have Church and Claiborne in the Cowboys secondary. He's injured, haven't practiced this week, didn't play last week. You could take advantage there. I think that's a lot of points out of Antonio Brown this week.
Finishing up here, we're going with Martellus Bennett. I understand Martellus Bennett has not been targeted much. He hasn't been, heavily involved in the game plan with Gronk coming back and Brady coming back. But this is a game where I think, Pete Carroll's going to look at this and be like, I'm going to take Gronk out of this game. I'm going to let them
beat me.
I'm going to make them beat me with the other people.
You want to know the one thing you didn't really think about? You want to know who Martellus is going to be lining up across from? His brother.
Oh, no way.
No way.
Yep. His brother.
Oh.
That's
you didn't even think about that, did you?
Interesting hot take you got
like
there.
that. Thank you. I was watching a little...
Who's better, his brother or Martellus?
Well, I mean, he's not going to cover his brother, but I mean, he's going to literally be lining up in front of him almost anytime he's in the game. He's on the same side.
I hope he just runs his brother over.
Michael plays D end.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be literally running right next to each other or blocking each other.
Yeah, they could be blocking each other for sure.
I know their tendencies.
Yeah, and so a little interesting take there.
Yeah,
you never know. You might step up to the plate and maybe good old Belichick's like, let's take it to you, brother. Let's give you the ball.
Belichick.
Yeah, Bill Belichick.
Let's cut off sleeves and shit.
In our flex position, we're going with Darren Sproles.
God, I like Darren Sproles a lot this week.
So, again, we talked about this earlier. This is the one spot where we deviated from our top 6 games, but this is a pick'em game. It's one of the highest over-under projected games. There's going to be points scored here. They're talking about Darren Sproles being the number 1 back in Philadelphia. Atlanta's given up a lot of passing yards to running backs
recently.
recently.
Say that they've already given up like 70 receptions to running backs?
That's what Darren Sproles does, and guess what? In DraftKings, it's a point PPR.
Love it.
Sign me up.
We're taking Darren Sproles for $4,300. By the way, Martellus Bennett's only coming in at $3,400. I didn't say that. So, last we're following it up with the Rams defense. The Rams are playing the New York Jets. We could have Bryce Petty at quarterback here, guys.
Yeah. If he gets hurt, then you got Hackenberg. I mean, there's not a whole lot of good going on with the Jets.
Not at all.
No.
All right, so we're going to be moving on to our FanDuel lineup. I'm going to send it over to Dr. Breck, and he's going to take away with the quarterback.
Switch it up a little bit here. Okay, we got Big Ben, quarterback. We like him coming back second week off the injury, $7,700. I think he'd have a big week against that secondary that's really hurting with the Cowboys. Running back, going with James White. With the Patriots, $4,500 in that. Good value there. I think you catch some balls out of the backfield versus a man coverage kind of defense in Seattle. Back out of the, he's going to have to be matched up with a linebacker.
He was $5,400.
$5,400. I apologize. $5,400. And then our other running back is going to be our number 1 this week, David Johnson. $9,400. He's going to score a lot of points. Stay on him for cash games.
Would you like me to take the wide receivers?
You can take the wide receivers, sir.
All right, I'm taking the wide receivers then. To go with our Ben Roethlisberger, we're again matching up Antonio Brown. We just think he's going to have a killer week. Playing the Cowboys, this is going to be a tough game. Who do you go to? You go to your stud receiver. We're gonna go ahead and throw Tyrell Williams in there. Playing the Dolphins team, he's been targeted a ton in the red zone. He's a big athletic body. I think he catches a touchdown this week. And last but not least, we're going J.J. Nelson, who is basically should be in every single lineup, playing a 49ers defense that's terrible. Carson Palmer's coming back off a bye. They're saying he's one of the top wide receiver options. We love J.J. Nelson for his price.
Nice. All right, and so we're playing a cash game with this one, so just to let you know, we're going with tight end Gronk, just because we do think that is a safe play, and we had the money to do it.
Can't 100% agree with that, but yeah.
We were really debating.
Safer than Martellus Bennett now.
We were debating whether to go with him. Jordan Reed was a good call. There's a couple of other guys, but we had the money, so we went with the top guy, and we went with Gronk. Then we went to our kicker, Jason Myers. I believe he's a Houston's kicker.
Huge stud,
$4,500. And then our defense in the DraftKings was the Rams, and we think this defense. We're going against we're taking the New York Jets defense here.
This could be just a low
scoring game.
3-3 tie, baby. 3-3 tie.
Boom. Vegas. What I think it's going to be is maybe it might be a high scoring game, but it's going to be a lot of turnovers.
No. Turnovers in
Vegas has this as a 39.5 over under. It's the lowest scoring game of the slate. I expect this one to be low scoring. And
both defenses are inexpensive, so it's something you can take away from there for very cheap.
Yep. Pick your Jets, pick your Rams. You're good to go there.
Only for defense, though. Let's get that across. Only for defense.
That's it for
prescription to win for week 10, guys.
I like it.
We're in the double digits now. Let's make sure, hey guys, follow us on all our social media outlets. Fantasy Sport, SPORT, and then DRS. You can find us on .com for our website. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on all of them. Follow us, share us, do everything. What else you guys got?
And make sure you
subscribe.
Make sure you check out my value picks that I have every single week. They've had killers. Like for instance, Latavius Murray went off last week. Like I said, the previous 2 weeks we had 3 out of the 4 guys go for touchdowns. So the guys that you can fit in your lineup for under $4,000 or $5,000, depending if you're playing in Fanduel or DraftKings, guys who are essential into your lineups if you can fit them in for very, very cheap. And you can find that at our website again, that Dr. Brecky said, www.fantasysportsdrs.com. Otherwise, we have a contest. Anybody that likes our stuff, once we do 1,000 likes, we will give you a free, pay for shipping, pay for whatever, whoever heck you want, their jersey, completely free.
Love it. Don't forget to watch us on Periscope. Shout out to all you Periscopers.
Yeah, Periscope.
10:30, maybe 11, depending on what happens Saturday night
goes.
Saturdays are for the boys. Live. We're on Periscope live doing a Stardom Sit-'em. I don't know many Stardom Sit-'ems out there. If you have questions about daily fantasy, if you have questions about standard fantasy leagues, shoot them. Who we think we're going to start and sit. We've been pretty good the past 10 weeks. I think the only bad person we called was Jay Ajayi and Quincy Enunwa.
Yeah, well,
but he got iced over that one.
Yeah, so we punish the guys that do F up. So there's that.
Yeah. There's a little more on the line than just our pride. So yeah,
our manlyhood, I think, a little bit, but that's okay.
Yep. So follow us again on everything, and don't forget to check us out on Stitcher and iTunes. If you don't want to do the whole use up your data kind of thing, you can go directly to our website and download the podcast directly to your phone. Listen to it wherever you want. It'll be downloaded. Again, guys, thanks for listening, and we will check you out next week.
Good luck, guys.
Here we go.
Take care.
Win that money.